Well, here's my entire belongings of everything, all packed up and everything, ready for the move. Got this back here. Got all the more space back there. Got to fill up. Yeah, just a car full of stuff. Front seat, not much, but as you can see, it's mostly on the back here for my move. That's everything I got. I've still got more stuff to fill up the car, but this is all my stuff. This is everything I've got in my life. All my stuff in one, packed up in one little car in here. All right, so as of this month, I've been in Arizona for a year, and it's been a hell of a run. But I got all this going on, ready for my brand new move. Needless to say, I'm going to be so much closer and be like within minutes my new full-time job. I've been at it for a while. I've been loving it, and gonna miss this town a little bit. I don't miss the traffic, but I finally thrown my past into the fire. I'm no longer allowing the ghosts of my past haunting me, or being a part of my life that no longer serves me, to that of which I have to disconnect myself from, and I have to let go in order to become who I am today, in order to become truly revolutionized within myself, reintegrated, the vitality into who I am, who I will become today. And as of tomorrow morning is the day that I leave, and I say goodbye. I say my farewell to this town, but and my self-worth is sacred and profound and deeper to me personally. And that's why I no longer chase people. That's why I no longer reach out to anybody in my life. There's quite a few people that I thought that I mattered the most to. As a matter of fact, apparently I mattered nothing. New beginnings and a new chapter as I turn a page and I burn bridges and I turn this page and I find myself in the story tale of, not a fairy tale, however, real life, realistic perspectives, a real life of everything in my life and everything that I had to bleed out for in order to become the person that I am today. I've made my past mistakes. I swallow my guilt. We said in the South, we ate crow, and our regrets in our past has defined us for who we are today. But I value my self-worth, so I'm no longer having to reach out to people, chasing people, and of all the people that have ghosted me, left me up on red, all these toxic women and people that have betrayed me of my trust, who to vilify and scrutinize, fuck me over. I'm not falling victim to that anymore in my life. And I may be single, but I value my self-worth. I'm no longer having to pour into the cups of others that leave mine empty or don't return a favor, and they leave mine even half empty, left my cup empty. And I'm no longer having to sacrifice myself to others that don't have my best interests at heart. I'm not losing myself to pleasing other people in my life anymore. I'm not losing myself to ensuring their happiness above myself, worshiping the ground they walk on, doing everything that I have to do to sacrifice myself to ensure their happiness, make sure they're always good. In a lot of cases, I made sure they're doing better than myself, I wasn't taking care properly of my mental health or my emotions, keeping myself stable-minded. And I thought perhaps that through my previous relationships, I would be able to have a companion, somebody in my life to guide me, and for me to be a part of their life as well as theirs for mine. And in the process of sharing our companionship or relationship or whatever else, I thought maybe we would ultimately, inevitably, as partners should, as companionship should, heal one another, be there for one another, and help each other overcome your greater obstacles and whatever mental health or whatever past traumas that you are affiliated, like you go through and you endure and you experience in your life, that, you know, I was hoping a lot of these past women would not be as toxic, but be more supportive, understanding, show sympathy, compassion, empathy, remorse when needed. Remorse when they fucked up and did something wrong or said something wrong, you know. But there's no accountability in people's eyes, you know. They continue to repetitive cycle of fucking up in their lives, and then they scapegoat, try to vilify you and try to make you pinpoint you to being this villain, and in order to bring themselves up. And that's the definition of narcissism. That's toxic behavior, dysfunctional relationships, dysfunctionality at its finest, when people don't hold themselves at their own accountability. And I disappeared from some people's lives, and it's been going on about 5-6 months, almost half a year, and I've not heard like one word from anybody, not one fucking single phone call or text message. So, you know, with that being said, you know, I don't need to be part of your life. You don't need to be part of my life if I'm not valued in somebody else's eyes. You know, and people don't keep in contact, and then I don't need to be a part of their life, and vice versa. They're not deserving of me, and they're not worth it being a part of my life. Well, I gotta say, people like that, they absolutely are horrible people. They have the worst intentions, and they don't care for the benefit or the well-being and the best interest at heart for somebody else except for them or their own selves. And these are the types of people that I've been having to deal with, the fake, narcissistic, neurotic, toxic people in my life. And even people out back from Alabama, you know, like, they were just full of like fake, pretentious, superficial assholes who don't give a fuck about anybody else. And while I've always been on the front lines and been right there, every time somebody calls or texts me, I'm always responding all the time. I never ghost or nothing. So